Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Level Up with Loraine, where we talk lifestyle, personal development, and travel, all things growth and leveling up. So today I'm going to be talking to you about the mid-year reset and how to realign your goals without guilt. And I guess we're officially halfway through the year. Most of you right now have either finished your performance reviews if you work in an organization. And really why businesses do this is because they start off the year with set goals, right? Whether it's for profit or it's for impact. And it's an NGO and it's got certain impact goals. Whatever kind of business it is, it starts off the year with set goals. And the measure of whether your business has been successful is a culmination of each individual's performance and their ability to meet the goals that were set for them in the beginning of the year. And so they track these goals, and mid-year, which is roughly this time of the year for a lot of organizations, especially those who run January to December financial year, they're probably running their reviews or just finished them. And so I thought it was important that we do the same for your life, right? It's important to take account for your own life. And if anything, if you're like me, you've started a list of goals that felt so clear, but now life happened and those goals are either no longer relevant or you were not able to even look at them or start on them because life happened. And so maybe you crushed a few, maybe others feel completely irrelevant now, and that's okay. Today we're going to talk about how you reset without shame or guilt. So why are mid-year reflections important? Why do they matter? Think about driving with an outdated GPS, right? You want to get from point A to B, and your GPS system is outdated. And so the route that you're using doesn't tell you that that road was closed or that they built a school along that road. And so it's a no-through road and that you need to use a different route. So the same way you would update your GPS system is the same way your goals deserve a refresh too. Things change, right? What you thought you would be working towards in January may need a refresh, and it may not be the case anymore. We shift, circumstances shift, so shouldn't our goals reflect that? Should our goals not be dynamic enough to reflect the exact position of our lives and what's happening in them? And so we need to give ourselves more grace over grind. And that doesn't mean we stop. It means we shift how we move, right? We take pause, we reflect, and we realign. My personal media is exactly that, right? It's one of those where I'm looking at my goals that I set in January, and there've been some small wins. There were things that I set out to do in the beginning of the year that I managed to do, and I crushed those goals, and I'm so proud of myself. There are those that I fall, I get up. I fall, I get up. Like fitness, right? There are days or months where it's just not good. It's not looking good, but I still get up. And then there are things that can change in your professional life where you actually have to think about this goal is null and void, right? Where I was maybe looking at a promotion in January, working towards a promotion. Maybe now I've had to pivot out of the business and start my own business, right? And so that means that goal is completely null and void. Or you're letting go of someone or something, and maybe you were working towards something with that someone. And so it's a matter of looking at that goal and still having a tough conversation with yourself around, can I really still do this thing without this person? And if yes, can I still do it in the timeline that I had set out for myself? Can I still do it with the resources that I have just on my own or with someone else, right? And these are conversations people need to have. And I'm just throwing out examples here. And one thing I want to invite you to do is release the pressure of holding yourself accountable to goals that are no longer relevant. and thinking that you've lost. You haven't. This is the importance of having a mid-year reset where you can have these conversations, you can realign and create new goals. Like we said, refresh your GPS. The last example I want to give here would be if a business had a goal or an objective to move into a certain market, a new market or territory, right, in January. And then by mid-year, they realize that that territory is going through war. It's a war zone, or their currency has devaluated overnight, or there are socio-economic issues that will not support the business to thrive, right? It can be a whole host of different reasons, but either way, they can't go into that market anymore. That doesn't mean that the business has failed. It means they have had a tough conversation about what matters and whether that market is still viable for them to enter. And then they can realign, refresh, and set new goals at mid-year. I think that is the same thing. And I want to compare that to us as human beings with personal goals. There will be things that you set out to do that are just not possible by June, July, right? And sitting down to introspect, retrospect, and to plan forward is so important so that you don't continue on the wrong road into a war zone when you have no business being in a war zone. So I thought that was an important example to give you. All right, so just very quickly, how to reset your goals without guilt. The first thing is to reflect and don't regret, right? Ask yourself what worked, what didn't work, what energized you, and what drained you, so that you can carve a way forward that is actually sustainable and you're not dragging your feet towards that goal. The second thing is to release the noise. So ditch the goals that weren't yours to begin with, where you got into them because everyone else was doing it, and so you wanted to do it, right? Or, someone told you, oh, you are so good at X, you should get into this, right? Or you speak so well, you should become a motivational speaker, and yet maybe that's not even your passion, right? So ditch them. Have the strength to tell yourself, actually, this is not for me. Was there validation for it? Were you maybe just comparing yourself to someone else? So release that noise and ditch those goals. Step number 3, realign with your current season. Like we said, seasons change. Understand the season you're in, what matters right now. How do your values show up differently in the current season? And what will feed your soul? Is the goal still relevant, right? Is the route still relevant? Does it still matter in the season that you're in? Step number 4, redefine success. Maybe it's consistency over results, joy over perfection. And I'll give you an example here, this podcast. Consistency is so much more important to me over results, right? The ability for me to push out at least 2 episodes like I set out to do in the beginning of the year. To push out at least 2 episodes a month is more important to me than how many people listened to the episode. Joy over perfection. How much joy am I deriving from doing this podcast, right? Am I still within my why? Am I still meeting my purpose, whatever I purposed to do through this podcast? So that joy over the perfection of the podcast is so much more important. So redefine what success looks like for you for each goal. And the 5th thing is restart softly. Be gentle with yourself. Set out new intentions, habits, or themes. Not 10, right? They don't have to be 10 or 20, but redefine your goals and make sure that they are attainable. Make sure that they are simple. Make sure that they are sustainable, because July to December is a very short journey, and you don't want to sit in December, reflect again, and be disappointed with yourself. Don't set yourself up for failure. Make it sustainable. So to close, I want to remind you and to tell you, if you didn't already know, that you are allowed to pivot. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to move forward at your own pace. I'd love to hear from you. What's that one thing you're resetting this season, this mid-year, right? And if you found this episode useful, please share it with your friend or your family members or someone who would be encouraged by this episode. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode if it encouraged you. Until next time, continue to level up.